Barakim Habarim, welcome to Messianic Moment Ministry. I'm Stephen Bruck. You know who you are. Today is the 12th day of December 2024, and today, being the 12th day of December, that means there are only 13 days left for those who accuse Christmas of being a pagan holiday to kvetch over it. By the way, if you haven't done so, please hit those subscribe buttons here on the YouTube channel. Also back on my website, messianicmoment.com. Hit the little notification thing, hit the bell. You know how to do all that stuff. And when you're on Facebook, like my Facebook page and join my Facebook discussion group. It's called Just God's Word. You're very welcome. Also, hey, if you like what you get here, you're going to love the books I've written. There are 5 of them. Yeah, 5. And they're all available through my website under the tab called Books, or go to Amazon.com. In the search field, put Stephen R. Bruck, and it'll all show up. And one last thing, and this is the most important thing, please share these messages with everyone you know, because you can help this ministry to grow. All right, so I want to mention, first and foremost, that, hey, I'm Jewish. See, I got a mezuzah. I'm Jewish. And I've never celebrated Christmas, Easter, or any of the traditional Christian holidays. In fact, I'm not defending today. I'm not defending anything. I am attacking. I'm attacking ignorance. I'm attacking misinformation, and I'm attacking zeal that I believe is definitely misplaced. You know, over many years, I've heard people who have rejected much of the traditional Christian teachings because, well, they've come to realize that to truly follow Yeshua, that's Jesus, they must turn from Christian teachings that reject the Torah and become more Torah observant, which is the way Yeshua lived. But in some cases, they go from one end of the spectrum to the other, from loving to celebrate Christian holidays to hating them and calling them pagan. You know what? I've heard that term, pagan, thrown around like a hot potato, and I really wonder if anyone actually knows what it means. So I went to the Webster Dictionary, and there were 2 different definitions that I think are apt. This first one had a warning. It might be offensive and was old-fashioned. Oh, God, woke. Anyway, it was a person who is not religious or whose religion is not Judaism, Islam, or especially Christianity. And there was another definition, this one categorized as being a literary definition. It says, one who has little or no religion and who delights in sensual pleasures and material goods, a non-religious hedonistic person. Well, I wanted to go further, so I asked Google is our friend, how do I recognize something as pagan? And some of the ways it said were, well, first of all, anything other than Jewish, Christian, or Muslim. Also, there's worship of gods and goddesses. It's polytheism. It's also events that are tied to seasonal changes, things with magical practices, and especially paganistic things generally focuses on nature. So, hey, yeah, there are definitely some elements of Christmas that we could say are similar to pagan practices, such as a Christmas tree as being a focus on nature. Hey, but it isn't the same thing Jeremiah talked about, not even close. And there's a lot of talk about Christmas miracles. That's magical. And just like my favorite Christmas movie, Miracle on 34th Street, only the original one. And it's seasonal. And that was celebrated on a winter solstice. But what about polytheism? Other than the argument about the Trinity, because, you have 3 gods in one, it's still 3 gods, which is polytheistic by definition. Other than that, Christmas is really all about Yeshua, one person, and his father Adonai, one and only one God. Pagan things are not in the Jewish, Christian, or Muslim religion, so, Christmas must be okay. After all, Christians invented it. And just because something isn't in the Bible or is celebrated at the same time ancient people celebrated a pagan event, doesn't mean that holiday is pagan. What is pagan is something that celebrates paganism. Duh. So when we celebrate the birth of the Jewish Messiah, is that pagan? No. When we celebrate the resurrection of the Jewish Messiah, is that pagan? No. when we reject and accuse Christian-made holidays, celebrating and giving thanks to the one and only true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for sending his son to save us, is that pagan? No, it is just misplaced zeal and misplaced hatred of having been lied to. That's right. I believe much of the zeal against Christmas and Easter, for that matter, is misdirected hatred for having been lied to for so many, by so long, which includes religious leaders, friends, and family. Come on, really. How can giving thanks to God be wrong? Honestly, how can celebrating the existence of the Messiah be a bad thing? In fact, if we reject the holiday that celebrates the birth of our Messiah, isn't that the same as rejecting the Messiah? Yeshua said if we reject him, we reject the one who sent him. That's Luke 10:16. So if we reject the holiday created specifically to celebrate his birth, then in a way, aren't we also rejecting the event of his birth? And if we reject celebrating the birth of the Messiah, isn't that the same as rejecting the Messiah? Think about this. If we wanted to, we could proclaim some holy days, which are those commanded by God in the Torah, as pagan, because they are definitely seasonal. Shavuot is based on the wheat harvest, and Sukkot on the barley harvest, and Passover, hey, it's always in the springtime. I know, what I just said sounds ridiculous, but really not any more ridiculous than saying Christmas is pagan because it happens to be on the same day Saturnalia used to occur. Look, it's like I said at the start, I'm not defending Christmas or any Christian holiday. What I am defending is the right of those who celebrate Christmas not to be insulted, being called paganistic, or to insult God and Yeshua by saying events created to celebrate them are pagan, just because they happen to fall on the same day as an ancient pagan event was celebrated. And because a holiday may have some of the same characteristics of a pagan celebration, that doesn't make it pagan. Celebrating the Messiah and giving thanks to God can never be a bad thing. But denying others the right to do so just might be. Well, thank you for being here. Please don't forget to share these messages with everyone you know, even non-believers. After all, hey, you never know how fertile the soil is until you plant a seed in it. So that's it for this week. I'm going to say Li Trot and wish you an early Shabbat Shalom.